Hi guys, it's June here from the Noble channel. In today's episode, we will feature my Aussie book haul once again. In fact, this will be a two-part video. In today's episode, I will feature picture books and books for kids. And I know that even though they're picture books for kids, we adults, we love them too. And in part two, I will feature books for grown-up kids. So let's get rolling. Oh, the places you'll go. My very first book from Dr. Seuss. I know most people probably say Dr. Seuss. Well, no matter how you say his name, this story is for every child and a child in all of us. From bang-ups and hang-ups to lurches and slumps, Dr. Seuss takes a hilarious look at the mishaps and misadventures that life may have in store for us, and I believe helps us along. The Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen, an absolute classic and the first of my vintage books from my most recent haul. This beautiful hardcover edition was published in 1977. Shown on the cover here, one of Melbourne's most animated fairy tale Christmas windows, depicting the story of the Snow Queen. These fantasy displays were first commenced in 1957 and are now established as one of the traditional highlights of the Christmas season in Melbourne, having attracted outstanding comments from the viewing public of Australia and all over the world, where the windows have been awarded countless honours in various European and American competitions. For those of you guys who are not familiar with the shopping scene in Melbourne, Myers is like a huge departmental store. If you are in Australia, you probably would spot a Maya here and there. Look out for Sampson by Libby Hathorn and illustrated by Anne James. You will notice the sticker on the top right. This was an honour book in the 1988 Children's Book of the Year Award. So you know this has the stamp of approval from the Children's Book Council of Australia. Another beautiful hardcover book, Tengo Hopping by Viv Albright. This edition is printed in Great Britain. A delightful way for children to learn how to count in the company of some very endearing characters. You spot that grasshopper in the picture. Margaret Wild's books were introduced to me by my sister, who's amazing. My sister, that is. I'm sure Margaret Wild too. Yeah. There's a Sea in My Bedroom is brought to life by the wonderful illustrations of Jane Tanner. Check this out. Another winner, The Gruffalo by Julia Donaldson and illustrated by Axel Scheffler. First published in 1999, this is definitely a favorite among many young readers. The Gruffalo has sold millions of copies worldwide and translated to over 50 languages, I believe. This copy that I got from the thrift store is in excellent condition, definitely a great find. Lamb Says Boo is written by Catherine Sully, illustrated by Gail Yarrell. This is a charming story of bravery and having the confidence to stand up for yourself. A book like this is wonderful to talk about, to talk to kids about such topics, in a very warm and light-hearted approach. And here's Quincy by Ian Travasky. This is a story of a little boy who is afraid of dogs. Now, when I was little, I was very afraid of dogs, okay? This is a heartwarming tale and one that readers young and old can appreciate. The lovely illustrations you see are by Sue O'Loughlin. A flea in a teapot and a boy who goes to bed with a bubble in his throat. 1-2 Flea by Ellen Alberg with illustrations by Colin McNaughton. Silly rhymes that are an absolute joy to read no matter what your age. That's the Sound the Street Makes by Danny Katz with illustrations by Mitch Vane. This book is perfect for introducing Onomatopoeia to young readers. My sister taught me that word, so yay for us! And now this knowledge can be passed on to my students as well. Here's another from the successful collaboration behind the Gruffalo, A Squash and a Squeeze. With these charming illustrations and delightful rhymes, I am so looking forward to share this with my young readers. Now for kids who love their dragons, I guess this is for them. Where's the Dragon is written by Richard Hook and illustrated by Jason Hook. Young readers will be taken on an adventure in search of an enormous dragon. The dragon is hidden on the pages. Readers will be challenged to find them all. In an old house in Paris that was covered with vines lived 12 little girls in 2 straight lines. I am such a huge fan of Madeline and Ludwig Bemelmans, so this is definitely my favorite book from the haul. Madeline in London. I will cherish this book for always. A classic retold. This version of Little Red Riding Hood is written by Nicola Baxter, and I'm certain these beautiful 3D pages, illustrations by Susanna Lockhart, will delight any young reader, which will definitely encourage them to read more, so that's a good thing. girls have fathers, just like you. Fathers that play with them, care for them, and love them. All the Little Fathers is by Margaret Wise Brown, best known for another classic, Goodnight Moon. This edition features illustrations by Marilyn Forshaw. That wraps up part 1 of my great Aussie book haul. If you guys want to see what I got up to in Sydney and Melbourne, I'll put the links in the description box below. Just so you know, I don't do touristy stuff. I go to Australia to be with family, spending time with those I love and those who love me. That's all for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. Remember to stay tuned for part 2, where I will feature all the books that are meant for grown-up kids. Until then, remember to be kind, be better, no bull. Bye!